Talking about your favorite series, and particularly why you love it so much, can be tough. Maybe you found the story and world engrossing, maybe it was the art or direction combined with the music, or maybe there's a far more personal reason. Hi, I'm Mike and welcome to the Lions Lounge. And today we're going to be talking about not only one of my favorite anime, but my favorite series. One that is unquestionably timeless, has a rich plot, stellar animation, and a fantastic soundtrack. That's right, y'all. It's Tenchi Muyo. No, you know from the title of the video and the thumbnail that it's Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop is a futuristic sci-fi series directed by Shinichiro Watanabe. When you're trying to get people into anime, Bebop is a gateway series, and really this comes down to how approachable the story is, and just how likable the main cast are. Not to mention its English dub, that still remains my favorite of any anime to this day, and a stellar example of how good dubs can be. In Bebop, you follow the bounty hunter crew of the titular spaceship, these being Spike, Jet, Faye, and Ed, with the majority of the series run being highly episodic. Typically in each episode, the characters will be chasing a bounty, which leads them into contact with other side characters. And it's these interactions between the crew of the Bebop and the minor characters that really fleshes out their personalities. What also helps keep this formula feeling fresh are the different genres every episode has, going from a space western to neo-noir to a tragic drama, with a soundtrack composed by the amazing Yoko Kanno and the Seatbelts, matching perfectly with each one. In a lot of anime, the main cast go through a great deal of growth and experience throughout the series, in particular the case of shonen shows like Yu Yu Hakusho and Dragon Ball Z. But in Cowboy Bebop, there is no real development in the characters. This is because their stories have already kind of happened, with the exception of Ed, who's still a child and as such is a foil to the rest of the crew, her childlike innocence often used for comedic effect. Instead, over the course of its 26 episode run, the viewer is given more insight into each character's backstories, and from them learn that a theme they all share is really that they each seem to have something about their past that still haunts them to this day. Spike, having been a former hitman for a crime syndicate who attempted to escape with the woman he loved, only to be betrayed and left for dead. Jet, the only clean cop left in an organization that was growing more corrupt by the day, and as such was set up for not playing by their rules. Faye, a young woman who was involved in an accident that medicine at the time could not solve and was placed in a cryogenic sleep until it could, waking up 50 years later to find a world she no longer knew and with massive debt as a result of her surgery. And even Ed, who, while still carefree and full of hope for the world, was still abandoned by her father and has grown attached to the crew as a surrogate family. The show's themes are very adult, so when I first watched it as it was airing back in the day, I liked it, but I couldn't really relate to it. Upon rewatching it a few years ago though, it felt different. I found the character stories really resonated with me and affected me in a way that no other anime had before. And this is kind of incredible for a classic series to not only hold up over the years, but be more relevant than ever before. And I make an effort to rewatch it every year now. I honestly was hesitant to make a video on Cowboy Bebop because I didn't know if I'd be able to express my feelings on it well enough. But I stumbled upon a drink that just felt right, and I knew I wanted to feature it in an episode. So today we're going to be making a Swordfish II, inspired by Bebop's main dude Spike and his ship of the same name. This drink features a spirit I haven't really worked with until now, Mezcal, made from agave like tequila but with a smoky flavor. The crew of the Bebop smoke a lot throughout the series, so I thought this was appropriate. And this drink also features a Rosemary-infused Campari. To make this is pretty straightforward and only really requires 2 ingredients. All you need is 12 ounces or 360 milliliters of Campari, then 4 sprigs of rosemary, add them both to a jar, seal it up, and leave it out for 24 hours, shaking it up every few hours. After 24 hours, strain it into a fresh bottle. Seal it up, and this will last for about a month in the fridge. Now the cocktail itself is also pretty easy to make. It's all just equal parts. So first up, an ounce or 30 milliliters of Sweet Vermouth. Next, an ounce or 30 milliliters of your Rosemary-infused Campari. And lastly, an ounce or 30 milliliters of Mezcal. This is the only one that I think you could scale up or down based on the mezcal that you pick. Add some ice to your glass and you're going to give it a stir for about 30 seconds. Then add a block of ice to a double old-fashioned glass and strain it into the glass. And for garnish, I'm going to take a sprig of rosemary, a lighter, and just gently waft the flame over it to help give it a little charred, smoky flavor. And there you have the Swordfish II from Cowboy Bebop, a Mezcal and Rosemary-infused Campari cocktail. Cheers. Wow, I'm kind of speechless. This is really good. I will say if you do not like bitter drinks, you probably won't like this. Campari is very bitter. If you wanted to use something less bitter, I would say try Aperol. That has more notes of citrus that helps weigh down the bitterness, but it's a good substitute. So if you wanted to use it instead of Campari and make your rosemary infused drink out of that, I would definitely say try it. But if bitterness is not an issue for you, this is really good. Up front, you get that smoky mezcal that quickly gives away to the Campari. The notes of rosemary are kind of on the back of your tongue. It's the last thing you taste, but it's also very pleasant. This is an interesting drink. It's not something you can chug. This is a sipper. It's one that I could just lounge and just sip it over time. So today we talked about Cowboy Bebop and made a drink based off of it. If you like this video and want to see more, please like and subscribe. If you have any other cocktail ideas you'd like me to make, please let me know in the comments below. If you want to see what drinks I make outside this video, follow me on Twitter at Mr. Spacelion or Instagram at Mr.Spacelion. I'm Mike and thank you so much for stopping by the Lions Lounge. I hope to see you next time.